wizard can find a diamond in the rough, but a wizard can't pick out a diamond in plain sight.
Welcome back to this podcast. This is the God episode because it's Dallas Goedert's episode.
Episode 88. If you guys don't know numbers like me and Parker. But we know this.
But Owen told us, so.
No, I knew it.
It's the God episode in two ways because we have Dallas Goedert and Gotti.
Godwin.
Well, I was just going to say Gotti and then they could find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get the point.
Yeah.
We're going to start off this episode with a dramatic reenactment of the past season with Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz. They're both gone now, but we're just going to really take you guys inside the minds of Carson and Doug during this season.
We're going to explain to you their relationship.
Yeah, so here we go. Okay, that's it. All right.
Okie dokie.
And that's basically how it went down, pretty much. To summarize.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson both disappeared silently. In case you couldn't
Speaking
tell.
of disappearing,
If you're watching, we probably should have said this before. If you're watching or if you're listening on the podcast app or the website, and you just hear like a minute and 30 seconds of silence, we did not finish the episode. Make sure you stay tuned.
Yeah, somebody for sure just left. Didn't get the joke at all. They're like, all right,
If
I'm
you're
out.
watching on YouTube, hopefully you either watched the whole thing or just skip through it. But like,
or listening, they could have skipped. But
yeah.
So there's definitely somebody there listening that did not get the joke, was just listening on Spotify or something, and was like, nah, I'm out. This isn't worth it.
yeah.
Luke, you totally ruined Parker's transition. It's fine. Parker's going to do a magic trick for us.
Yeah, I am. You guys ready for this one?
Oh, yeah.
I'll make sure I stay in view of camera.
Yep. Okay, so for those of you listening, Parker now has his Eagles lanyard. Mm-hmm. It has his key on it.
Yeah.
Watch the key.
It's swinging back and forth.
Do not speak. Watch the key. Keep your eyes on the key. Keep your eyes on the key. Boom! See? Got him! Magic.
Whoa.
So are we hypnotized now, or are we just, was there?
Now I'm controlling your thoughts, just like Agatha Harkness.
Okay, you cannot tell me that when she went into that basement, it looked.
Let's jump into the episode. We had a professional baseball player on, Adam Godwin. Let's go to that.
Okay, so Adam, do you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of grew up to know baseball and play as a child and stuff?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think I grew up pretty traditionally, just kind of like when I think back and reflect on that question, being from South Alabama, it was just kind of something you did growing up, played all sports and whatnot. And you kind of joined the rec center team and you join your buddies and you make the All-Stars, and it kind of goes from there and unfolds. So I did that up until probably, 8th grade year of high school. Well, I'll say high school, but middle school. But I actually had a love for basketball. That's where my passion was. And my dad was a football coach at my high school where I was about to attend. I was committed to basketball. And long story short, I always played baseball just on the side as for fun, to be with my boys, whatnot, just to do something. But my senior year, I was trying to go play basketball in college. That was my goal. That was my dream, my vision at the time. And nothing had unfolded. This was like tail end of my senior year of basketball season. We made the playoffs, made a run or whatever. And then our high school baseball coach actually came to me one day at school and said, listen, somebody got hurt. We know that you play whatever you played JV ball a couple years ago. Could you come fill in for like 2 weeks? And lo and behold, man, that was kind of like God's plan, because that night or a couple weeks later, whatever, I put in, there was like 15 games left. A scout was there, a junior college scout was there watching that night. He was watching my best friend pitch. And so I don't know, man, I had a couple hits, something, stole a base or made a diving stop or something. He called me that night and I'll never forget it. He asked me a question that really stuck with me and changed my mind and mentality sport-wise from basketball to baseball right there in that moment. He said, some people are going to think I'm crazy, but I'm going to offer you a full baseball scholarship here at the junior college. And I want you to think about something. He said, how many 6-foot white dudes are in the NBA right now? And all I could name was Steve Nash at the time. And so it brought a new light and perspective to, I prayed about it. I thought about it with my parents and my family. And I didn't really have much going for me as a 6-foot, nothing. I thought I was better than I really was at basketball. Some small schools, D2, junior college, stuff like that. And I just kind of switched sports overnight and I made the commitment. And I always loved playing baseball. I just never thought much of it or thought there was a future there. And from there, man, I just committed to the dream and kind of changed a little bit, but trusted God with it. And the people close to me and grinded my butt off and turned into 4-year college career, went on to professional baseball, spent 15 years in that, and now have just come back in the last year to the college scene. Short version of it all. I hope that
you segued that almost perfectly to the next question we had set up. You said that you didn't originally think that there was you had a real future in baseball. What was the moment that you did realize oh, I'm good enough to do this professionally?
There were probably a couple different moments. One, do it in general, having such a love for basketball and it kind of hitting the brakes immediately. That was one kind of turning point that all right, baseball is what it's going to be. Let's go get it. Let's do it. But in terms of, knowing professionally that I could play, that didn't come until probably my junior year in college. I was at Troy University. I just finished a pretty good junior year. And I went and played summer ball in one of those invite college only kind of wood bat leagues or whatever. And it was there where I was matched up. I saw different guys from all over the country kind of come play that. Okay, I put up a pretty good summer. We had a pretty good team, and that was in Gastonia, North Carolina, where I played there for 2 years. It was a Coastal Plain League, and that was what really kind of showed me. All right, there's not much difference, outside of the state of Alabama and who we play, because I didn't really know. I had, had some success. I was blessed to be on some good teams and put me in a position where. I did have some success, but at the same time, I didn't really know what to judge and base that off of, because I went from junior college and then I went to Division I, Troy University, and spent 2 years there. And then it was my senior year where really everything kind of unfolded itself. It wasn't really me. It was just more of the work I put in, my teammates. We had a good year, and I ended up leading the country in stolen bases. So, at that point, at the end of the year, they do have some awards that kind of, when they label you an All-American or you're fortunate enough to kind of come away with that award, it puts you in a category where, you know, when I saw that, and that was kind of validation. All right, I feel like I'm one of the best in the country. Like, let's go do pro ball.
Talking about that after college playing, where I really got to meet you was your time in the independent league with the Barnstormers and the Skeeters. What would you describe that time like and playing with those two teams?
Man, it was a little bit of everything. It was a weird time in a way because I had just been removed or gotten released from affiliated ball. You know, a lot of people out there know independent balls, it's pro ball, but it's not affiliated with an MLB team per se. So it's one of those uncharted territories that you don't really know much about until you find yourself in it. And you know, I didn't get a call or an invite to spring training with any major league club or their minor league organization. So I knew I still wanted to play, and that was just something that I just went and did. And it turned into about 4 or 5 year journey on the tail end of my career, where, like you said, we met in Lancaster, which was a great experience. And then I went on after like a year and a half, 2 years with Lancaster. I went to Sugarland, which was pretty cool. You know, I don't know if you've seen it, but Sugarland now is AAA for the Houston Astros. They picked them up. And obviously, I'm sure you have seen that, though. But both experiences were really good, great teammates, some amazing people that I met, like Luke, you know, great people, but also like off the field stuff was kind of unfolding as I got older. I had met my wife. We were engaged when I was in Lancaster. We were planning a wedding. I went and played some winter ball, things like that, just trying to understand, like, all right, when do I need to hang them up? Am I still good enough? Should I still try? Just kind of like measuring before I cut. And, you know, the tail end of it, I had been praying the last few years leading up to the independent ball experience that, you know, God would show me some sort of sign or make it kind of clear that, all right, it's time to walk away as a player. Because that's kind of you know, it can be a tough step for a player once you spent 10 years or half your life in it. He did. I had a couple injuries, a couple concussions in Sugarland that put me out for good, and immediately jumped into coaching in the pros. So.
Yeah. Quick quiz time. Do you remember how we met? Do you remember what the scene was kind of it?
Oh, man, you're going to put me on the spot like that?
Yeah.
I was on deck, like where you were sitting in the front row.
Yeah.
You know, always noticed that, like, this, you know, you get to see some of the same people and familiar faces, season ticket holders and stuff like that. And I think I dapped you up. I needed some luck or something that game, and I was like, give me some mojo or something. Touch my bat. Yeah.
Here, actually, I've got
what you got.
I've got the bat right here. This is one of the bats that you gave me. You broke this one. I mean, I don't really remember the hit, but you broke the bat. You signed it, gave it to me. But this is one of the bats I touched and gave you that mojo.
So you touched one of the bats and then he broke it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I probably broke too many in my career. There's not enough marks on that bat. Now that you pull that out, I wasn't a good enough hitter as I thought I was. But when Luke touched it, it worked. So
yeah,
that was kind of it right there.
Yeah, exactly.
What was cool about Lancaster, man, and I'll say this was, you know, that was my first experience with like seeing Amish people and understanding that culture and just kind of being up north. I'd been with the Dodgers majority of my career, and that was kind of southern-based minor league teams. I was in Jacksonville and LA one year. A-ball was Columbus, Georgia. High was out in California. So I had never really gone up north other than the summer league of North Carolina. So that was kind of my first experience with that.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty cool. Yeah.
We pulled up your minor league reference page. First of all, they didn't give you a picture. Seems a little disrespectful, but
I don't know who's running that.
we like to quiz each other randomly on all the reference pages. It lists players' nicknames, and there's some weird ones. Yours doesn't have any. Are there any nicknames that we should like try to get on there?
No, not any good ones. I mean, everybody calls me Gotti. It's kind of always been, everybody says Gotti. And I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. It's fit and it's flowed and that's just what it's always been, I guess. I wasn't good
That fit-
enough to have a real good nickname, you know.
Hey, that fit perfectly on there. I mean,
Yeah.
with some of the nicknames out there, that fit
It's-
right in.
Yeah.
And it actually makes sense, unlike some of the other ones that they have on there. So you did talk a little bit about after you were done playing, you went right to coaching.
Mhm.
I remember seeing that you were coaching with the Phillies, one of their affiliate teams, for a little bit. What was that like?
Yeah, it first started with Pittsburgh. I don't know. I spent about 4 years with Pittsburgh before I moved on to the Phillies. So that's where the coaching journey kind of started for me. And the connection piece, how that got started, was a teammate of mine that I had in Sugarland, that he had gone the year before and got into coaching, and we had stayed in good contact and connected. And at the end of the season, after I had those concussions, I kind of reached out to him and asked him what he thought of pro ball and coaching and whatnot. And he said, "Hey, it's funny you asked, because we've got an opening. We're looking for a couple coaches. You want to throw in your resume or whatnot?" And I jumped right in, and he kind of helped connect the dots. And that was Scott Ellerton, big old 7 foot tall pitcher that pitched a long time in the major leagues, man. A great teammate and a great ball player. But yeah, 4 years in Pittsburgh was awesome experience. And then moved over to the Phillies. Both organizations, obviously pro ball is pro ball. So there were a bunch of similarities, but at the same time, two totally different, in terms of how you look through the lens at the major league level, and even, breaking down the minor league organization. One's very, they spent a lot of money over there in Philly. They went and got Bryce Harper and the whole squad, McCutcheon and Real Muto and all the dudes you see now. That was kind of like my year when they first came on. I was new then that same year. And then Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they use a lot of their farm system. So lower budget. But it's not about the money. For me, it was a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of asking questions, a lot of just seeing what I see and take it all in, process it, let it digest and stuff.
What's your best story as a coach?
As a coach, best story as a coach. I had a player one time in Pittsburgh, young guy. We were in high A, and I won't say any names, but there was a couple years back to back where I was trying to get in there and trying to connect, and he was in a challenging season of life, a few different things going on, but at the same time, like, he never gave up on me and I never gave up on him, as far as like, that's my job. Like, I'm going to keep trying to love on you, care for you, communicate with you, connect with you, serve, kind of thing. And I remember, like, internally knowing that, gosh, I'm trying with this guy and it's not working, but I'm going to keep trying. And I didn't know what else to do at the time. And I just trusted, I trusted all my years of hard work and teammates and things I've learned, and why I was there, my purpose, and kind of rediscovered my why, because after all those couple years, he and I struggled, and we continued to care for each other, even in our challenging times or whatnot, whether it was me going through something or him. Years later, I got a call from him when he got married, and he said, "Gotti, you were right." And it's not about being right or wrong. It just gave me validation that, never stop loving people and players and connecting. And that's what makes this game so special, is down in the clubhouse, it's 25 different guys that come from different walks, different backgrounds, different daily struggles. And I remember, when I was in pro ball, if you weren't a first rounder then, the time and the game has changed and every organization is a little bit different. You just fend for yourself. The first rounders may get a little bit more attention. They may deserve it because they're better and they've got a bigger investment. But like, I treat it stuck with me though, because I always, didn't have it. So it kind of fueled my drive to like be that coach that gave it. Treated everybody like a first rounder. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It was just one of those things that, for a guy that didn't play in the big leagues or have a career, when you're coaching in pro ball, you sometimes want to look in the mirror and say, there are challenging days, just like life, where it's like, man, am I in the right spot, guy? Like, can I do this? You know what I mean? Because everything's kind of, you match it up to the world, and it's like, well, only playing in the big leagues is you get credit, you know what I mean? And people kind of scale you off of that. And it's so much deeper when you peel back the layers of connecting, communicating, culture, the things that are important in life. Because the biggest thing is baseball parallels with life and marriage and raising kids. Like there's no other game like it, in my opinion. That's what's so unique about it. So, you know, yes, we're going to be the best ballers we can be, but at the same time, we're going to be, you know, what does being a championship father look like? I don't know. You know, those are things that smacked me in the face when I walked away from baseball as a player. You know, my wife, she laughs about it. She used to refer to me as Peter Pan, you know, and she's right in some ways. It's, you know, we work so hard on the field and developing our talents and trying to, you know, reach the ultimate goal. But like sometimes back in the day, you didn't get kind of coached up on like, you know, going from a young boy to a man, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And so that's where it's at for me, is kind of changing the world through baseball, not letting baseball change my world, if that makes sense. So much of what you see on TV and Twitter and hey, you know, these guys have earned some of this money. I'm not knocking that. It's just one of those things where young guys can get the wrong perspective of what they see on TV or a flashy car or whatnot of these primetime athletes. You know what I mean? And you want to get there because I can have the nice car, nice house, all these nice things. Well, when you get there, it's empty, you know, and they got problems and they're real people that go through things too that, you know, we all need support and love and care. So that was just something huge for me that stuck out. It was like, it wasn't about me, but it just said, all right, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, keep impacting. And the mission hadn't changed, whether it's college, you know, I made a choice to come back on the college scene in a different role than on the field, which I'm used to. And I embraced it. I accepted it because at the end of the day, whether I'm on a major league field or college or high school, you know, the attention and support and love and serve and cares, I'm going to try to match it up with how I treat my wife. And, you know, I'm not the best. I'm learning and growing, but it's still the same, if that makes sense. I can tell you one more story that was pretty epic right here, talking about my wife in Lancaster. Okay. Having a good year that year, whatever. Meet you, Luke. My wife, at the time we were engaged. She's flying up after work on a Friday, and it was her first time going to see me play because we met later in my career, like right before Lancaster. She had not seen me play any, you know, pre-Troy, Dodgers, none of that. Like she'd heard about it, but she'd never seen me. So I'm amped up. I'm excited. I'm juiced that she's coming. I'm like, all right, I'm about to ball out for my lady. Well, she gets there, and I was off to a tear, having a great season. And that night, I'm telling you what, like I went like 0 for 5 with like 5 strikeouts, trying to impress her so bad, right? So I'm devastated after the game. I'm moody, you know. I come out of the clubhouse, and she's worked all day in Alabama. She's worked for the attorney general. She was a lawyer. Had worked all day, jumped on a plane to Lancaster, got there when the game started, you know. And so after the game, she's like, you know, I can tell she's kind of perturbed with me. I'm mad about my performance. She's like, all right, where are we going to go? Let's go eat, whatever. That's kind of the per usual after a game. Find a spot that's open, or if you don't, go home and get a pizza or something. And I think the only place open, Luke, was like Chili's. Is Chili's still there?
Yeah.
It's over there by a hotel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so we go to Chili's. It's the only thing open at like 10 o'clock on a Friday night. We sit down. We're one of the only ones in there. She's actually staying at the hotel next to Chili's. We had host families, and she was staying there or whatnot. You may not have been allowed to bring, every family is a little bit different about bringing, like, whether it was your wife or fiance or something into the home. So we just put her in the hotel. Well, we sat down to eat, and I'll never forget this. We ordered, and she's kind of like, you can tell she's kind of getting mad at me, but it doesn't matter because I'm pouting the whole time anyway. You know, I'm frustrated about the at-bats. And I remember she looked at me and she said, Adam, she was like, at this point in your career and where you're at, she's like, I don't think we're going to get married if this is how you act about baseball. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're sitting here eating a meal. I'm not marrying you because you get hits, you know, because you go 5 for 5 or you go 0 for 5. Like, I love you as a man, the person you are. not how good you do on the field. And, that it was an aha moment for me, because as players, you chase results a lot of times, and you tie a lot of your process to the results, and the results kind of can dictate how you act and control you at times. And I was 28 years old. Nobody ever squared me up like that. She got up and left the table. The waitress is bringing the food, like they pass each other. She gets up. She says, "I'm not doing this. I worked too hard today. I came up here to support you. I want to see you. I want to spend time. But like, I refuse to sit here and have dinner with you if you're going to pout over your results. Like, man up. Like, you get tomorrow. You get to play a game." And it's, no coach had ever kind of, squared me up like that. Not even my own parents sometimes. And, sometimes there's supporting cast around you. You got to have some people speak the truth. And I never forgot that, because it was like, for so long, I let the game kind of dictate who I was, how I did things, my attitude, my effort, my energy, whatever, how I acted in the clubhouse sometimes, some choices I made. And it just, it clicked where it was like, man, it's not supposed to be like this. That there's a healthier way, the same God kind of mentality of like, just do it because you love it and because God's got you in this spot right now, and give it all you can and dominate the controllables. And like, what are those? And you start asking yourself as a young man, and it helps turn you into a man. And it's, probably why I have a daughter now, because had she not squared me up, I didn't need a daughter. That's why I was 28, 29, getting married at a later age. I was just stuck on baseball and married to baseball. And there's nothing wrong with chasing a career, but, letting it dictate who you are and how you do it to some degree, is real. That may be a little much for you young guys. I don't know. Y'all got girlfriends.
It's great to hear all these life experiences, especially as we're starting to go through that a little bit ourselves. Growing up, kind of nearing the end of high school, kind of getting closer to college. But
what's the toughest thing you guys face in high school? I'm gonna ask you a question now. You say you're starting to go through some of these,
how the tables have turned.
That's right.
Part about high school.
Each guy's got to go. Give me one thing, and it's got to be different. It can't be the same.
I guess I can start off by just saying time management between classes, homework, sports. It's a lot, especially getting a job as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff on the table, a lot of stuff to manage. So I'd say time management is difficult, but yeah.
I'd go self-sufficiency, where you're kind of like, teachers aren't helping you with as much stuff. Like you said, getting a job, we can like starting to get permits, driver's license, you can go different places and just starting to do more stuff like without your parents.
Some independent. Yeah, good. Awesome.
That's a good question.
Cool.
Yeah. Kind of transitioning from less about your life experiences and more just kind of generally about you. Who's your favorite current baseball player that's like currently in the MLB, and who is your favorite ever player?
We interrupt this amazing interview to talk to you guys really quick about our new bonus content. It can be found on our website. That's its official theme music.
Yes.
99 cents a month.
99.
Luke, how exactly can they find it?
It's an amazing investment. You can just go to our website, and literally if you go to the search bar, any browser that you own, not own, but have, whether it's Safari, whether it's Chrome, whether it's Firefox, I don't care. Just type in all sports all the time, and it will be the first website that comes up. You click on it, and it's in a big bold circle on the top of our website.
That was well said.
Yeah, that was beautifully said. So you literally just go to that, click on that, enter your credit card information, and you have just subscribed.
Speaking of credit card information,
all sports bonus
my
content.
credit card information.
I believe it's called. Let's not
share that.
Just kidding.
I believe it's called More Sports. More of the time, we might change the name. It's kind of temporary. We need to name it something. Let us know if you have better ideas. What were you saying about your credit card information, Parker?
Oh, I was just gonna read the numbers.
Oh, let's.
Oh, can I make sure I type this down?
Yeah. Okay, go.
All right. 717-768-3276.
Got it.
Do you want to know what the credit that is? The information for? JG Graybill.
It's not credit, it's the phone number, but I like the transition. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
JG Graybill is your. Am I doing it today?
Sure.
Is your family-owned and operated plumbing company that will do all your plumbing. They plumb your pipes, they plumb your sinks, they plumb your toilets. They do everything from hydronic heating to plumbing your pipes. I mean,
plumbing your pipes.
Like JG Graybill is on it, and if you need them, you can go to their website at jggraybill.com, or you can call them at 717-768-3276.
Link to the website in the description.
Yes. And if you are going to purchase their services, make sure you mention All Sports All the Time to receive $25 off your entire order.
And with that $25, you can buy yourself a clapper.
Like they use in the movies.
Yeah. Ready, set, hike.
Back to the interview.
If you just could say like one thing to young athletes, what would it be?
Golly, one thing I would tell them to, number one, the most important thing is you don't have to play the game, you get to play the game. Like at the end of the day, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to walk out there and put on a uniform and run around and hit the ball and get to do that for a long time. That's a privilege, something that we get to do, we don't have to do. So that and then within itself is not letting the game dictate who you are, not letting the results control you. Dominate the controllables. That's what I would tell them. Dominate the controllables, because that's all you get. It's kind of like life. Like life gets a say too. There's another team over there. They're working hard. They're trying to beat you and have success just like you are. So what can I control? My attitude, my effort, my energy, what kind of person am I? Those kind of things you gotta, and it may not be the same for everybody, a moral compass. I mean, there's all kind of, characteristics that you could slap on a board and attach it to something, but like, what can I control within the realm of the game of baseball? And when you break it down, it's really your attitude, your effort, your energy, what kind of human you are, what kind of teammate, and like, are you coachable, that kind of stuff. Throw the talent out the window. Everybody's talented once you get to the pro level, even the college level. It's more about like, are you a student of the game? Are you coachable? Can you lead a team? What does culture look like? What does culture mean to you? What do you want to do in life? Like all those kind of things, like how do they tie in, at a young level without getting too deep and pouring too much on, just, I'm going to meet you where you're at, like understand where you're at, understand who you are and where you want to go, and find somebody, connect with somebody, have a mentor, man. I would encourage that too. And, student of the game, but student of life too, like somebody that you can bounce ideas, ask questions. A lot of guys don't ask questions. When I was in Pittsburgh for 4 years, I used to coach up the coaches on, how to ask questions. And like, we attach ego in society sometimes and self-value and worth, and sometimes to like where we played or how high we got or how much stuff we have. And it's like, if your heart's in the right place, and everybody's in a different place, but if you want to impact people, impact the game, and be the best version of yourself, you got to have those type of people around you. Hang out with elite-minded people, like-minded people. Yeah. Don't fall in the common trap. The gossip, eliminate the noise, that kind of stuff, and not be scared to talk about it. Talk about it to grow in a way, not talk about it to just add more noise to the clubhouse, because there's always going to be some gossip and negativity, and it's like we got enough of that. Like let's hunt the good stuff. What does that look like? The positivity, the energy, that kind of stuff. Let's celebrate that stuff. So kind of like what you cats are doing, man. Y'all running a podcast like this. I mean, these things didn't even exist when I was your age or whatnot. I didn't know what a podcast was. So I commend y'all, man. Y'all doing a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Y'all go to any Phillies games?
Did not go to any this past year. I mean, COVID kind of stopped that.
Yeah.
But
Like, would
in the
you go this
past-
year if they allow fans? Will you go?
I would like to get to one. Yeah, definitely get to one or two
The last Phillies game I went to was
with you.
with you.
Yeah.
They were playing the Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Swept them
Harper
in that
fan?
series.
No. You
Oh,
guys
yeah.
booing him or cheering for
No,
him?
I'm cheering him.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you better cheer for that
I
dude,
mean,
man.
one of my favorite Harper moments was I don't know, was it the same series?
It was the same series.
Same series as
It
the
was
Cubs
the
game
day
we went to.
after the game that
The
we
day
went to.
after, we went to a game one day. The next day, he hit a walk-off grand slam. They were down by
Oh, yeah.
3. Hit a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 9th. I think it even was. It
Crushed
was the end of the game.
Mhm.
I mean, I was
Crushed.
so upset because the day before, both Reese Hoskins and Bryce Harper both went like 1 for 4. It was horrible. Like,
Yeah,
you
he was
didn't get
getting
to see any
tackled by
good
like
playing.
yeah.
But I mean, the walk-off home run, grand slam actually was just
That was amazing.
it was crazy to watch and listen to. But it would have been even better if I was there.
Just
That was a straight bombski, man. You know the pitcher he hit off of?
well, let's see.
Left-handed.
Cubs relievers.
Left-handed.
Ugh.
No, I couldn't tell you.
He was
He
white.
wasn't with the Cubs last year. Come on, man. He was with Pittsburgh last year.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
I think his number was in the 40s.
Derek Holland.
It is in the 40s, 45.
Wow, how do you know that?
I don't know, man. I don't know how I know the numbers. Derek
I don't
Holland.
know. I thought of the pitcher. I
Yeah.
was thinking, man, that's gotta be painful walk back to the dugout right there.
Oh yeah. Oh
I mean,
yeah.
I think that went like, it didn't quite go viral, but people were laughing because Harper sprinted around the bases.
Oh, yeah, he
Holland
ran.
didn't even get off the field. He was like at the third base line and just like stopped as he ran past
Oh,
and
yeah.
then went.
Yeah. And the Gatorade.
Not only
mask,
that,
yeah.
it went in like the 5th deck up there too.
Oh
it
yeah, that was
awesome.
it was crazy. It was a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Kruk almost fell out of his chair. Yeah, that was great.
That's
Yeah.
right. I remember we were sitting, our coaching staff, I was in New Jersey. We were with the Blue Claws, our single A team for the Phillies. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget, we had just finished the game. We were at home. We were all sitting, the coaches were sitting in there kind of eating dinner. We had it on the big screen in the coaches' clubhouse or office area. And I mean, we went berserk when he hit that. And we were going nuts like we were there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a
that was
crazy
great.
day. I know me and my dad were both going crazy after that one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. He's a special player, man. He's
Yeah.
fun to
I
watch.
remember,
He's fun to watch,
Oh,
very
yeah.
talented.
I remember that was a
Yeah.
school night, and my dad was like, "You're crazy. Why are you staying up
Yeah.
for this ninth inning? They're gonna lose."
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then
nope,
there was
staying up.
it was worth every moment of staying up late.
Yeah.
They need a little bit more of that this year. Hopefully
Oh, yeah.
they'll put it together, and they got a good squad, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the NL East is loaded this year. All the teams are good. Like even the Marlins.
It's gonna be
are
interesting, man.
Not terrible.
Yeah, it's
So-
gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah.
Especially with the
Padres,
the way
Padres
they're-
loaded up, man. Padres are ready to go. And there's some other teams ready to make runs.
Padres, Dodgers, all those
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, especially the Padres and the Dodgers.
Yeah, those teams. It's gonna be a crazy race right there.
That's kind of the sad thing as Phillies fans for us. It's like this should be the Phillies prime right now. They just re-signed all the guys. They're in their late
You
20s.
got the best catcher in baseball. You got one
But
of the
now-
best hitters.
Now they
like-
have to go up against all these amazing teams.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's,
hey, man, if you're the best at the end of the day, you're the best. You're a World Series champion. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're the best, you got to beat the best and go through them or whatnot. You don't get there by accident.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
It'll be exciting, at least.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
all right, Phillies. I'm predicting it. Y'all heard it here first.
Hey,
They're
yeah,
gonna-
we did.
They're going to be
Yeah,
in
we're
it this
all
year.
ab- We're all about hot takes on this podcast. So
That's why I still got a lot of my boys over there. So Phillies.
Yeah, all the way.
We'll save the clip.
All right.
Play it back.
All right, cool. All right, we'll do another podcast when they're in the World Series. How about that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
We got it.
Done deal. All right, cool.
Hey, thank you
All right,
so much
guys,
for
man. I
joining us
appreciate
today.
it. I appreciate y'all having me on, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
Luke, call at me if you need anything.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. All right, sounds good, fellas. Y'all take care.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Yeah.
how she became like her superhero.
I know.
Oh my
There was to say
word.
her eyes just
Her
went
eyes were
blue.
blue?
And like she like obviously something with electricity because when she looked at the power lines, they were like
They were all like
vibrant. They
weird
were like
purple stuff. Yeah. Oh my
She
word.
like
Did you
broke
see?
through the barrier.
It might have been the Darkhold in.
That was a great interview
Yeah.
with Adam Godwin, aka
No.
Gotti. Big thanks
Hey.
to him for doing
Fine.
that.
Be
Luke
like
and I
that.
had a great time interviewing him. Luke, wouldn't you say that was probably the best interview
It
we've
was
ever done?
definitely a really good interview. It was amazing.
Really
I
enjoyed
thought
it.
It was great to hear just all his experience with baseball, but not just with sports, but life itself. I think it was a really, really good thing.
There's some.
for everyone to hear, especially young
Not even-
athletes out
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
just-
there's some really good life lessons in that.
And not just for sports fans,
Yeah,
just
it was just
in
in
general, with
really,
anything.
really good.
So-
Thank
make
you
sure you
so
check
much.
that out and share
We
it
love
with your
you, Adam.
share it with
even
your-
though I've never met you, I love you.
share it with your friends, share it with your family. Make sure everyone gets to hear some of Adam's message. It was really
follow
good.
Adam on Instagram. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure we'll tag him when
Yeah,
we
we'll
post about
definitely
the
tag
episode.
him on our Instagram, and
Yeah.
we'll probably put his Instagram in our YouTube description as
Yeah.
well. So make sure you give him a follow.
Yeah, somebody that I believe you're going to have to unfollow is Carson Wentz because he left us.
Nah,
I'm gonna do that right now.
Nah.
Nah, here, show the camera.
Nah. Here, I'll screen record.
Hey, hey, hey.
Goodbye,
Unfollow.
Carson.
Luke is currently going to the All Sports All the Time account.
Nah, nah, nah.
Nah, you're typing really slow.
Hey, hey, hey.
Unfollow.
Goodbye.
He's been unfollowed. Bye, Carson.
How many followers has he lost in the past? Like,
He's still over 1 million. I don't know where he was at before. He's probably gained an equal amount of Colts followers, so...
I know-
His pick is
It
still
balanced
an
out.
Eagles pick. I think he should probably
yeah, when
change
do you think
that.
he's going to change that one?
I don't know.
He got traded to the Colts for a bag of chips.
And a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It
And
wasn't.
Bill O'Brien.
It wasn't terrible considering there was almost no bidding war.
Yeah.
They had to
Yeah.
get rid of him by I think sometime early in early March, or else they had to pay him $10 million. So they were on a deadline. The Bears didn't really
They kinda
seem
pulled
to
out.
want him that bad. Carson obviously would rather go to the Colts than the Bears.
I think anyone would.
So yeah, for Carson, he ended
Carson's
up
fine.
best case scenario. He's
And the
not
Colts
with Doug
are a good
Peterson.
team.
Yeah,
Colts are
I
going to
mean,
be good.
according to
the
Owen,
Colts are contenders now. They are.
I wouldn't go
they're
as
not.
far to... Well,
You
reuniting-
said contenders
hold on.
with Phillip Rivers.
Reuniting Carson with Frank Reich.
Yeah.
That could either go really, really well, and he could go back to... Not back to his MVP self, but back to being
Top
really
10.
good.
Top 10.
isn't Reich like a German name, like from like the World War II? I don't
know.
like it.
Sure.
It's sketchy to me.
But then there's also the case scenario where Carson Wentz just stays bad, and like I was
yes.
saying earlier, his focus is just not on football enough, and he just stays horrible.
How do you
He's
know
hunting too
How do you
much.
know that Parker
No.
keeps saying he hunts too much?
No, well,
How do we know that he's not
I think
focused?
I was
enough?
talking to a fellow Eagles fan, and I think that we kind of established that, like, with everything going on in his life, he's got a newborn child. Well, when we were talking, he had a newborn
Don't
child.
athletes tend to? Joel
Like-
Embiid just had a kid,
no, but you
and
don't
now
understand.
he's playing amazing.
No, you
No,
don't understand.
but some athletes
That's
react differently.
different.
Maybe
Yeah,
Carson,
yeah.
he just...
He's from Africa. He's a different breed.
So you're. Don't say that.
no, like as in a good way.
Oh, Joel Embiid. I thought you
He's
meant
on
Carson.
another
I'm like,
level.
Oh, you thought he meant Carson. I thought he was just saying it, and it sounded kind of like maybe we shouldn't be saying that.
No. I just mean like he's just way better than Carson Wentz.
Okay.
I don't think we should blame Carson Wentz for having a child and
No, I'm
therefore
not blaming
kicking him out.
No, I'm not. I'm
But-
not blaming him. I'm saying it's good to have a split focus. It's good to be like, I like this, I like this, I like this. Like, it's good to have focus on many things. I'm glad that he's not like so focused on football that he doesn't have time for his family. Like, I'm glad that that's not the case.
But he
I just
grew
think-
up in North Dakota. He spends way too much time hunting. You can tell.
I just think.
Parker is so stuck on that.
I'm
I
serious.
just think.
Anybody
If you're
in
going
North
to be
Dakota
an NFL
hunts.
quarterback starter, you really need to put the time and focus into that at the moment when you're being paid millions of dollars. Like,
And did you see? He hasn't watched a single game film the entire season.
How do you know that?
That's what Doug told me. The
Your
media, whatever.
source, Doug.
they
I
just
do
have to
think
move on.
I would say from the reports that have come out, the issue seems to be that he's not very coachable.
I think he just made the whole Eagles environment toxic. Like,
Well,
it just got
Howie
really
Roseman didn't help.
Topic,
But-
toxic.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was not a good leader for Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts would have been the best player in the league if he had a good mentor. I said it here first.
There you go. Basically, there's two scenarios here.
There's
Either Carson.
There's two cars of thought.
Yes, two Carsons of thought. Either Carson Wentz is going to go to the Colts and play really well and just be able to rebuild himself back to close to where he was, or he's not going to play well, and that's pretty much it for him. Like, if he doesn't play well now with the Colts, it's kind of
How many
over.
years did he
He's
sign with
Blake.
the Colts?
He's
Just
Blake
1 year?
Bortles.
Well, his contract from the Eagles, I believe, takes him until 2024, so that would be 3 seasons I think he has left on the deal. I'm sure there's
And
an
then-
out that he could probably be out in 2 years.
out like
So basically, he's got this year and next year to prove
I think if he
himself
plays-
in Indianapolis.
I think I saw that like he could be out in 2023 because if they do that, they'll only lose.
Yeah.
I think it was like 15 million in cap.
the
He's
Eagles.
got 2 years.
Speaking about cap, the Eagles lost $38 million.
Yeah,
Dead cap money, baby.
Biggest cap hit in NFL history.
Howie
Insane.
Roseman, let's go.
I posted.
I
that
can't
on
believe
story,
Howie
you guys
Roseman
probably
still
saw
has
that.
his
It's
job.
So bad.
Why
so
is he
bad
not
here?
getting fired?
I don't understand.
And then
Get
he
a new
wants
GM.
more QBs because
Quarterback
QB
factory. Yes, ever since he said
Quarterbacks
that.
and linemen.
Ever since he said we're a quarterback factory, the team has just gone so downhill.
So downhill.
That was the point. When Howie Roseman said, we're a quarterback factory, everything just went up in
Until we
flames.
fire Howie Roseman, we are not going to do good.
If Howie Roseman rebuilds this team, I'll actually be pretty impressed. Because the only way you can rebuild a team is through the draft.
Yeah.
And he stinks at drafting. He's good at everything else.
He's
We
good at
can-
finding
we can
gems
agree
on
he's-
practice squad.
He's good at everything else except for drafting.
He is the
Give
best
the keys
GM
to
in
Daryl Morey.
Let Daryl Morey draft for the Eagles.
Yes.
Please.
Howie Roseman is the best GM midseason when you don't have anybody
Yes.
and you need to pick up someone off of a
Uh-huh.
practice squad. Howie Roseman is
Yes,
the man to
he's a
call
wizard.
because he will find the shiniest gem on the practice squad.
Listen to this. Listen to this. You're a wizard, Harry. Like Howie.
Yeah.
You're a wizard,
You're a
Howie.
wizard, Howie. A wizard can find a diamond in the rough, but a wizard can't pick out a diamond in plain sight. Words wise.
That's a quote. What a quote, Luke.
Wise words.
There you go.
Wise words.
That was the smartest thing you've ever said.
Thank you.
And that's the philosophy the
Velocity?
Eagles. Yeah, that's the philosophy the Eagles
that's the
really need to
velocity.
focus on this year if they want to turn
Velo.
the season around. That's really what it comes down
Jalen
to.
Hurts needs to throw with great velocity.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts needs to run with great
Thanks for
velocity.
listening to us. Hope to see you guys another day.
It was a hard cut.
Adios.
Great ending.
That was so weird. Oh man.